Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, those in the room, those watching on Charm TV. The March 26, 2026 proceedings of the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City will now begin. Please take this opportunity to turn off or mute all of your electronic devices. The board is now in session. Just a few preliminary matters. Case 9 and number 14 have been postponed and will be heard at a later date. We will be going slightly out of order for a variety of reasons, so please listen very carefully to the cases as I call them. And really important when you come up to the lectern, make sure that you're speaking clearly and loudly into the microphone so everyone can hear you. Okay? Here we go. Charles Rowling and Andrew Soller, Baltimore Sports Bar LLC, trading as the Penthouse Club, 615 Fallsway, Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, and Class AE adult entertainment license. Request for a hardship extension under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Article, Section 12-2202. Please come forward. There you go.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Andrew B. Saller, Charles Rowling.
Yes, are you going to proffer today?
Yes.
Okay.
We've had, as we're all unfortunately aware, City Hall, there's been issues with permitting. We have been working with City Hall. Permits have been moving expeditiously now.
Hold on 1 second. I want to make sure that the mic is on. Okay. Go ahead. Finish.
Permitting has been moving expeditiously. We've been having unfortunate issues with tariffs and sourcing materials, but we are pushing through with everything, and there is an end in sight.
Okay. Any questions, commissioners?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
No questions.
Okay. Based on your March 5th letter and the proffer made here by council, I approve your 180-day hardship extension of this Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license and Class AE adult entertainment license.
I concur with the chairman. Based on your written request and the information presented here today, I vote to approve the 180-day hardship extension for this Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license and adult entertainment license.
I will also vote to approve your 180-day hardship extension for this Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license and adult entertainment license.
Ms. Russell.
Those are for the record.
Thank you very much. Good luck
Thank
with
you.
you.
Have a
Okay.
wonderful day, everyone.
Be careful out there.
Thank you. Thank you. I need
Don't walk too fast.
Jacqueline Aaron Meerman, Vivian's LLC, trading as Vivian's, 3100 East Baltimore Street, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. Request for a transfer hardship extension under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Article, Section 12-1705B. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Cadenzi representing the applicants. It's another one that had a problem with their getting their approvals, and there's a sales tax issue that has to be taken care of, so we'd ask for that 90-day extension.
Questions, commissioners?
No questions.
No questions?
Based on your February 26th letter, your proffer made here by council, I do vote to approve this 90-day transfer hardship extension of this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license for 90 days.
Based on the proffer made by council today, I also vote to approve the 90-day transfer hardship extension for this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license.
I will also vote to approve your 90-day transfer hardship extension for this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license.
Ms. Russell.
Those are for the record.
Thank you.
Now I've already talked to her. David Jurdy and Corey Palioka, HM Management Latrobe LLC, trading as Swan House, 909 North Charles Street. Application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article, Section 12-1609B. The board may issue an additional Class B beer, wine, and liquor license to a current Class B beer, wine, and liquor license holder if the new establishment has a minimum capital investment of $500,000 for restaurant facilities, which may not include the cost of land or buildings, and 51% food sales, and a minimum seating capacity of 125 individuals. Under Alcoholic Beverages Article Section 12-1609E, the board may waive the minimum capital investment requirement and minimum seating capacity requirements if the board holds a public hearing and reviews the business practice of the license applicant and determines the license holder is in good standing, has a reputable Business, please come forward.
Good morning.
Morning.
Are you going to proffer today? How are you this morning?
Yes, I will. I feel like I've got two of the best with me, but we could go all day and talk about food, Commissioner Thomas. Stephen W. Fogelman, on behalf of the applicants, Mr. Jurdy and Mr. Palioka. This is, and I will go ahead and proffer, I think I saw the MOU distributed.
Yes, we have it right
Yes.
here.
Thank you, and that's with the Mount Vernon Belvedere Association. This is the former Mount Vernon Stable location, and the applicants today are Mr. Jurdy, who you may know from many, many, many projects in this city, Woodbury Kitchen, Artifact, so many to mention, going all the way back, I guess, to Spike and Charlie's when I was in law school 35 years ago. They teamed up with Parts and Labor, Grand Cru. Mr. Palioka has done Sandlot, Shoe Fly, and the Belvedere Diner, so they are certainly no stranger to the hospitality scene here in Charm City. We have 150 seats, and I want to thank the board and the staff for addressing the issues of Article 12-1609E. I used to bring the good standing certificate and things like that, but it's wonderful that the staff has made my job easy in asking you for that waiver today. You can expect on their menu all sorts of tapas. Bar Dali is the concept with Spanish tapas and some desserts and some creative drinks. And that they are, again, no strangers to alcohol management. All servers will be certified and trained by them with their collective 60, 70 years of experience in the industry.
Okay. All right. I don't have any questions. Commissioners, do you have any questions for this applicant?
No, don't have any questions.
Okay. Based on the application materials, a proffer made by counsel, the exhibits that have been admitted in this case prior to the hearing and during the hearing, which I guess this is still prior to the hearing, and there's a memorandum of understanding, as you stated in your proffer. I vote to approve this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license, subject to the memorandum of understanding as enforceable by law.
I agree with the chairman based off the MOU presented today and the proffer made by council. I vote to approve this application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license. Thank you.
I will also vote to approve the application for this new Class B beer, wine, and liquor license as based on the documents presented as well as the MOU that will be enforceable for this board.
Ms. Russell?
I call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, MOU between Mount Vernon Belvedere Improvement Association, applicants dated January 1st, 2026.
Best of wishes.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Kumar Dangal and Sapana Danpali, 413 West Baltimore Street, LLC, trading as Baltimore Spice Restaurant and Bar, 413 West Baltimore Street. Amended application to transfer ownership and location of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license presently located at 2148 through 52 Vine Street to 413 West Baltimore Street, requesting off-premises catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages. Are your clients still out in the
I
waiting
have
room?
not cleared the TSA checkpoint, Madam Deputy.
Matt, can you just yell out and ask for those folks? It's the Baltimore Spice Restaurant and Bar.
And Stephen W. Fogelman, for the record, I will be happy to proffer, given that this is an amended application and you have met these folks before.
Yes, you can.
All right, great. Thank you for taking me out of order this morning. It's much appreciated. So as I mentioned, and as my cover letter explains, this is there was a corporate shuffling here with ownership that required this second hearing. This is, and I have previously submitted menus, but I'm happy to bring you a copy if you don't have it in your file. This will be operating as Baltimore Spice and a downtown Indian cuisine. I'll be happy. Yeah.
Yeah, you can bring it up.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Thank you.
So you have the items I like. Yep.
Yeah, and, I feel like downtown is, there are so many good Indian cuisine restaurants here in the city and all the neighborhoods.
Can I just, is this your client?
You can stand beside him. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and I have Kumar Dongal and Sapana Danpali to my left. And they are offering, like I say, shareables, vegetarian, biryani, the entire, as far as I know, the entire northern Indian palate. Southern Indian is a little more rare and is extremely spicy, so I personally avoid it. This is what I think of, and most of us do when we think of Indian cuisine. They've already been alcohol management certified. The Miss Danpali, her husband runs Hamilton Tavern at Harford Road, and she's familiar with the restaurant industry. So they also worked with and met with Downtown Partnership during the first application, but it wasn't refreshed or anything like that. But they're committed to being responsible operators, and I do believe there's a public need and desire for this type of cuisine in the downtown area. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions, Commissioners?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
No questions?
Based on the application materials, a proffer made by council, and the exhibit that was entered today, the menu, I vote to approve this amended application to transfer ownership and location of this Class BD7B beer, wine, and liquor license presently located at 2148 through 52 Vine Street to 413 West Baltimore Street, with off-premises catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based on the proffer made today and the statements made by council, I also vote to approve this amended application to transfer ownership and location for this Class B D7 beer, wine, and liquor license with off-premises catering and delivery of alcohol beverage.
I will also vote to approve the amended application presented to transfer ownership and location of the Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license presently located at 2148 through 52 Vine Street to 413 West Baltimore Street. Also requesting your off-premise catering and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Ms. Russell,
Medical exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit number 1, menu.
good luck to you.
Good luck.
Best of wishes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
I love all the gluten-free.
Definitely. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Go O's.
All right.
Nadir Duru, Ovenbird Golf Street LLC, trading as Ovenbird Bakery, 3925 Golf Street, Suite 2. Application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article Section 12-903C 2, 1 little I, requiring $500,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities, 51% of food sales, and seating capacity for a minimum of 75 people, but no more than 150 individuals. Requesting live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premises catering. Please come forward.
Good morning. Are you handing us
Morning.
some exhibits?
Yeah, she always comes prepared. She always comes prepared.
And are all these new exhibits that we don't have in our file?
Yes, it looks like it.
Menu, seating, we have. Council?
Good morning. Brooke Hutchins with the law firm Rosenberg Martin Greenberg. I'm here on behalf of the proposed licensee of Bird Golf Street LLC. I'm joined by Ms. Nadre Duru and Keeler Kyle. Nadre is the individual license applicant, and Kyler is the owner of Ovenbird Bakery, which currently operates on the proposed licensed premises. So this is, as mentioned, this is an application requesting a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor license for use at 3925 Gulf Street, Suite 2. The applicant also seeks approval for outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and live entertainment. The licensed premises is currently operated as the restaurant known as Ovenbird Bakery. The licensed premises is located within 300 feet of Highland Elementary and Middle School. It's also bounded by Fagley Street, Goff Street, and Grundy Street, and as well as Chesil Place. Accordingly, pursuant to the requirements set forth in Section 12-1605 of the Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis article, the board is authorized to issue a license for this licensed premises, subject to certain conditions. I won't read through the conditions, but the main one being that there needs to be an MOU executed with the community association for the area, which is what I just handed you. Okay, in addition, because the restaurant is located in the 46th Senate District, there is a daily food sales requirement. My client meets this requirement as well as the one I just listed of executing the MOU and the other conditions. So the licensed premises is located in Highlandtown within a formerly industrial building. The subject property was zoned IMU2, which is a mixed industrial district. And so it's eligible for a license. I'll explain the existing operation as well as the prior approval that the board issued for this space. Ovenbird Bakery specializes in artisan breads and pastries that contain spices and flavors from Turkey, as well as the Mediterranean and other regions. The licensed premises in Highlandtown is Ovenbird's third location, with other locations operating in Little Italy and Hampden at the Rotunda. The overall Ovenbird Highlandtown project represents a capital investment of over $1 million in construction costs, all privately financed. The licensed premises, as I mentioned, is operating, and it has operated since around December 2023. During a hearing in June 2023, this board issued a former Class B license for the same establishment to the same licensee applicant, and that license was active until 2025 when the renewal process wasn't completed for this license. So we're back again. We filed an application for a brand-new license. And as I mentioned, the applicant did enter into an MOU that was revised to reflect the newly proposed operation. So in order to complement its baked goods and breakfast and lunch, the menus are included. The applicant would like to reinstate its liquor service. Based on its experience at other locations, it does not anticipate having any difficulty meeting that food sales requirement I mentioned in the beginning. The licensed premise will feature an outdoor patio, a cafe space, as well as a bar area. And they now want to offer live entertainment, which will consist of jazz quintets, DJs, a comedy night, as well as local bands. In accordance with the terms of the MOU, which are listed, I don't have to list them all, that live entertainment will take place during brunch hours and at special events. There's also listed in the MOU the hours of operation, the maintenance of trash, the exterior noise limitations, all of which my client agrees to abide by. The applicant will also continue its policy of requiring house staff and anyone who handles a house beverage to become tip certified. In addition, they will card everyone who's ordering alcoholic beverage to avoid service to minors. A little bit about Ms. Nadre Duru. She is a Baltimore City resident. She served as the individual licensee from 2023 to 2025, so she has experience here. She's also an owner, 100% owner of the licensed entity. She's familiar with the board's rules and regulations and pledges to abide by them. I'll jump to the criteria. As far as the public need and desire for a license, the MOU demonstrates that it's here. The community executed it with my client once, and they're doing it again. The public desires this license. As far as the number and location of existing licenses, there are no business models that compare to what my client is offering with the cafe bakery and now the entertainment and the cocktails. This is a unique service. There is no potential for a commonality. The applicant has taken great care to ensure the license will not affect the health, safety, and welfare of the community. They executed that MOU. And within that MOU are security measures such as exterior lighting, security cameras, tip certification, and it's all in front of you. So for the foregoing reasons, we request that the board approve this application.
I don't have any questions. You've gone through everything very well. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
No questions. She's always thorough.
Yeah.
But I will add, I would like to see that you guys have a strict time frame with hours of operation, especially with the live entertainment being able to close at 10 o'clock regardless. So I'd like to see that, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, no questions. Very thorough packet. It looks like it's going to be a wonderful business. Excited,
Yeah. Exciting.
very excited, yeah.
So based on your application materials, the extensive proffer made by council today, the exhibits that were entered into the record, including the MOU, I vote to approve this application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license. Also, with the MOU incorporated as enforceable by law.
Also concur with the chair. I vote to approve this application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premises catering. Thank you.
Before you go forward, I do want to make sure that I include that in my ruling, that you do also have the live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premises catering.
I will also vote to approve this application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premise catering based on the materials provided in the proffer of your council.
Ms. Russell.
All right, Exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, Business Plan 2, MOU between Highlandtown Community Association and the applicants.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Luck.
Chad Sparrow, Larry Walston, and Tracy Moxon, Urbano Baltimore LLC, trade name pending, 301 Mission Boulevard, Suite 3127, application for a new Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license under the provisions of alcoholic beverages and cannabis article, Section 12-1604J1 little I. Please come forward.
Good morning again.
Got to get staff next time.
Okay, Brooke Hutchins with the law firm of Rosenberg Martin Greenberg. I'm here on behalf of the proposed licensee, Urbano Baltimore LLC. I'm joined by Chad Sparrow, Larry Walton, and Tracy Motson, who are the individual licensee applicants. Chad and Larry are both partners of Common Plate Hospitality, which is the restaurant group that's behind Urbano. We are here today for a new Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. The license will be used at 301 Mission Boulevard, Suite 3127, which is inside of the Rye Street Market Building in Port Covington. The licensed premises is going to operate as a tavern known as Urbano. This licensed premises, we were here about a month ago for another tenant, Live K. It's in that same area where, according to state legislation, 10 licenses are allowed in this area, and we have not met that 10 threshold yet, so here's the newest one. There are no capital investment, seating, or food sales requirements for new BD7 licenses. So this is going to be in the ground floor of the Rye Street Market Building. Urbano is a Tex-Mex concept. It'll be Urbano's first Baltimore location, with the other locations currently operating in Alexandria and Fairfax, Virginia. Urbano will offer Tex-Mex dishes that combine classic comfort with innovative twists. Some things I thought that looked tasty on the menu were the carne asada, grilled swordfish, and smoked pork belly. To further enhance the overall dining experience, patrons are now they would like for patrons to be offered alcoholic beverages such as margaritas and sangria. Urbano will have a seating capacity of 184. The proposed hours in operation are Sunday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Friday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. These hours may be adjusted seasonally as well as for special events. To prevent the service of alcohol to minors, Habano will emit the following policies. There will be on-site management presence during all operating hours. IDs will be checked at the point of sale of alcohol. All managers, bartenders, and servers, along with the general manager, will be required to tip certified. Additionally, both Chad and Larry are tip certified. There will also be surveillance cameras throughout the premises. A little about the individual applicants. As I mentioned, both Chad and Larry are partners of the Common Plate Hospitality Group. Mr. Sparrow in particular has significant experience with the other Habano locations, as well as with restaurants, Mason Social, Augie's Muscle House, Beer Garden in Alexandria, Virginia, and the Grove in Potomac, Maryland. He also has experience holding a liquor license as the licensee for Habano's former locations in Annapolis and Bethesda. Mr. Watson was also a holder of those licenses for those former establishments and similarly has experience being a partner of a large restaurant group. And now for Ms. Moxon, she's a Baltimore City resident, registered voter, property owner, and is willing, like with the other two, to pledge by the rules and regulations of this board. There's no community association for this area, but we received a letter from Claudia Joan, the executive director for Baltimore Peninsula Partnership, and that's included in your packet. The applicant satisfies the board criteria to approve an application for a new license. Habano is going to be an enticing food and beverage destination that will attract residents and visitors to the peninsula. The letter of support demonstrates the desire for the license. The license will not have an impact on existing licensees due to Habano's unique offerings, and there's no potential for commonality of service. The issuance will not have an impact on the general health, safety, or welfare of the community. To ensure this, the applicant has shared its plans with the business organization governing the area and intends to implement the policies I previously listed. So for the foregoing reasons, we request that the board please approve this license.
Thank you. Again, very thorough. You have very competent counsel today, so great job. I have no questions. You've covered everything. Anything else?
We thank you for coming to Baltimore City to try your new business venture, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Very excited.
Commissioner.
Yeah, I think you're going to give Rod Street Tavern some competition. But yes, very thorough packet, wonderful looking menu. Happy to hear everything that you're going to employ into making sure that you're a good, responsible licensee.
And this is our resident foodie commissioner, chef.
Well, I'm a chef.
So she looks at it and sees that, and it's great. Based on the application materials, the proffer made by council, the exhibits that were entered today, I vote to approve this application for a new class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
I concur with the chairman. I vote to approve this application for a new class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
I will also vote to approve your application for a new Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Russell.
Like exhibit to the record, board exhibit number 1, business plan.
Great. Good luck.
That's what she said.
Onika Aretha Gregory, Dexter Gregory, and Calvin B. Davis. Blue Iguana LLC, trading as Blue Iguana, 2125 Maryland Avenue. Amended application for a new Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Article Section 12-1603E2 little I, requesting live entertainment and delivery of alcoholic beverages. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Kudensky representing the applicants in this case. This is an application for new Class BD7 beer, wine, and license under the statute. Coincidentally, there was a license granted there. What's your name? Abe Hurdle has. And they're moving that license out of there. The individuals here have had over 40 years worth of experience in the alcoholic beverage business. They have talked to the neighbors. I would point out, however, that they just received from North Charles a proposed MOU. So we would agree that if the board grants the approval of the license, they'll be subject to providing that MOU to the board after they go through it. For some reason, their letters came out late, but they have talked with them, and they will agree to be bound by the terms and conditions of an MOU with North Charles. I start seeing it right now, but otherwise, they are qualified applicants. People who will be serving alcohol will be alcohol certified, and the hours that they're talking about in the entertainment will be in the MOU.
So there's an MOU that has already been, Drafted?
Charles drafted it and sent it to them. They just got it this morning.
okay,
So we're going to look at it, and we'll make sure that providing, once they, fine tune it and go from there. But apparently there was a mix-up between who to talk to and so forth. I'll just start looking at it now.
okay, all right. So once you guys agree on the terms, and it's going to be signed and incorporated
Yeah, and
into
we'll
the
submit it
license.
in,
Okay.
correct.
All right. Any questions, Commissioners?
No questions.
What type of food are you going to do? Okay, wonderful.
If you want to speak, we just have to get
Yeah.
you to raise your right hand and testify, but your counsel can speak on your behalf
Come on up here,
also.
Dick.
But
This
it's,
is Aretha here. Come on,
Aretha.
Aretha.
Go ahead and raise your right hand, Aretha.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
State your name
If
and
you
address for the
yeah, if
record.
you can speak up, I don't need your address if the board does, but just your name and spelling.
Onika Gregory.
No, we have that. Okay, thank you.
And the question was?
What type of cuisine, the food that you're going to serve? Okay.
Good Caribbean cuisine.
Good Caribbean.
Great.
Okay, that's
All right.
That's great. All right, I have no other questions. So, based on the amended application materials proffer made by counsel, the short testimony that was given by your client today, and the exhibits that were entered, I vote to approve this amended application for a new Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license with live entertainment and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
I also vote to approve this liquor license with the subject of the understanding of the MOU being in place. That I vote to approve this amended application for a new Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license with live entertainment and delivery of alcohol beverages.
I will also vote to approve your amended application for a new Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license under the provisions of the Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Article, requesting live entertainment and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Ms. Russell.
Exhibits for the record.
Thank you. Good luck to you guys.
Best of wishes.
Good luck.
Thank you all. Greatly appreciate it.
All right.
Jamal McCord and Randy Norris, Lexington Market, QALICB LLC, trade name pending, 112 North Utah Street. Application for a new public market license under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article Section 12-1002.1 B2 2 requiring the applicant to be an operator of an enclosed public market, $5 million in capital investment, the location of the market to be surrounded by North Paca Street on the west, West Saratoga Street on the north, North Utah Street on the east, and West Fayette Street on the south. A public market license with beer, wine, and liquor would allow for on-premises consumption and off-premises sales. The applicant is also requesting live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premises catering.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Drew Tilden, also of Rosenberg Martin Greenberg.
I thought you could retire now. You have someone else who can do.
I know, we couldn't let her do all of the work.
Okay.
But we're very grateful for Brooke. So thank you so much for having me, Commissioners. It's good to meet you. I'm so happy to see you today. So as Ms. Wurzberger mentioned, we're here today requesting a new public market license along with outdoor table service, off-premises catering, and live entertainment. This is for Lexington Market, and just as a little bit of background, this license was approved and issued in 2022 and expired in 2025. So we are making the same request today that the board previously approved in 2022. So just a little bit of background. I'm sure you're all extremely familiar with Lexington Market, but it opened in 1805. It was initially exclusively local grown produce, and then by 1905 it had expanded into a gigantic international selection. In 1949, the original market burned to the ground. It was at that point 168 stalls and entirely wooden. So in response to that catastrophic fire, they redeveloped the market, which opened in 1952. And for 70 years, the Lexington market that we all grew up with operated. But by the early 20th century, there were calls for renovation because it had been operating for 17 or 70 years. So in 2018, the city announced pre-development plans, and then by 2022, the new market that is there today opened its doors. It includes 2 levels, an outdoor seating area, which is shown on the floor plans I provided. There's an upper market and a lower market, and it can accommodate approximately 50 vendors. The applicant anticipates that at any given time, about 6 to 12 vendors are going to sell alcoholic beverages, and none of them are going to have more than 1,000 square feet of alcoholic beverage sales area. It's a 60,000 square foot market, so that means no more than 10 to 20% of the actual market space is going to be dedicated to alcohol beverage sales at any given point. At this moment, Trinacria is the vendor that is particularly interested in selling alcoholic beverages. They are trying to get moving ASAP. But other vendors in the market include Connie's Chicken and Waffles, Taharka, Sunnyside Cafe, and various other vendors have expressed interest. Of course, every vendor that is offering alcoholic beverage sales is going to go through the vendor process that the Liquor Board has as well, and that is required under the rules and regulations. All of the vendors are also going to be required by the market to have a TIPS certified employee on site at all times. And there's going to be a market-wide policy to prevent serving alcohol to minors, and each sub-licensee or vendor is going to be responsible for enforcing that. The hours for the market itself are 6 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, and then 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Thursday through Saturday. And the applicant, for purposes of alcoholic beverage sales, is going to limit those to not before 11:30 a.m. on Mondays through Fridays, and then not before 9 a.m. on Saturdays. Just a little bit about the applicant. So this is a subsidiary of the Baltimore City Public Markets Corporation, and our individual licensees, who I apologize, I failed to introduce, but we've got Ms. Norris, who is the COO of Baltimore City Public Markets, and then we also have Mr. McCord, who is the Director of Markets and responsible for overseeing operations across all of Baltimore City's public markets. While neither of these individuals are going to be on site daily, they are familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, and they pledge to abide by them. So just briefly to address the criteria for approval, as a preliminary matter, it does meet the capital investment requirement, which is $5 million. This was a $45 million renovation project, and hard costs themselves were approximately $30 million. So far exceeds that, and it's also obviously within the statutory geographic boundaries. It's located within a few blocks of UMB, of the Hippodrome, of Everyman Theater, and as you all know, that area is in desperate need of eat-in restaurants that also have the opportunity to have alcoholic beverage sales. So there is absolutely a public need and desire for this license, especially because it was operating from 2022 until 2025. There are no other licenses of this type in the area. In fact, there's only one other public market license in Baltimore City. And for that same reason, there will not be a commonality resulting from this requested license. And then also the impact of this license, it's not going to negatively impact in any way the health, safety, or welfare of the community. There won't be a negative impact on crime or parking. And that really is emphasized by the fact that this license operated without incident from 2022 to 2025. So for those reasons, of course, we respectfully request that the board approve this new public license, and please let me know if you have any questions.
Great job. I don't have any questions at all. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, as always.
Thank you.
Any questions, commissioners?
Just one, is it a reason why the license expired versus being renewed?
Yeah, so the license was not renewed. As explanation, and if you all want to come and be sworn, but my understanding was that there was some transition at the Baltimore City Public Market organization, and so it was not renewed. But we're here today, just looking to have the same license.
You know that, thank you.
Yeah.
No questions, no additional questions.
Okay. Based on the application materials, the excellent proffer made by council today, the exhibits that were introduced into the record, I vote to approve this application for a new public market license for Lexington Market, and also approve the live entertainment, outdoor table services, and off-premises catering.
I concur with the chairman. I vote to approve this application for a new public market license with live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premise catering. Thank you.
Based on the documents presented to the board, as well as your proffer, I vote to approve this application for a new public market license with live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premise catering.
Thank you so much.
Elizabeth for the record.
Thank you. Good luck, guys.
Good luck. Best of luck.
Andrea Formisano, Gennaro Di Benedetto, and Francesco Ciano Di Cola. Limoncello of Baltimore, LLC, trading as Limoncello Italian Restaurant and Wine Bar, 900 East Fort Avenue, Suite 101, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. Application to transfer ownership, requesting outdoor table service, off-premises catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Cadensky representing the applicants. It's really not a transfer, it's a restructuring of the LLC. The same individuals have been at that location on Fort Avenue for the last 5 years, haven't any problem. For whatever reason, the other attorney, when they put it through, put the names of the applicants as a licensee who were not particular owners of a particular LLC. The individuals here have been associated with the business, and they're there every day for the last 4 or 5 years. They've had no problems. So what we're asking here is the board to approve it. This is really a restructuring of the current LLC.
Yeah, I have no questions.
No questions.
Yeah, no questions.
Okay. Based on the application materials proffer made by council today, I vote to approve this application to transfer ownership of this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license with outdoor table service, off-premises catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
I concur with the chairman. I vote to approve this application to transfer ownership of this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license with outdoor table service, off-premises catering, and delivery of alcohol and beverages.
I will also vote to approve your application to transfer ownership based on your proffer here today of this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license with outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Ms. Russell,
Elizabeth for the record.
Great Restaurant.
Robert James York and Kathleen A. Amato, Roland Park Wine, LLC, trading as Roland Park Wine and Liquors, 4032 Roland Avenue, Class A, beer, wine, and liquor license. Application to transfer ownership, requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Thank you.
Do you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Representing the applicant, Mr. York, and I think it's Mrs. Amato. Mr. York is purchasing the Roland Park wine. He has met with the community, and he has full community support. Community loves him. And also he's purchasing the real property as well, so he will become the part of the community as a property owner as well. Ms. Amato is the current licensee who's the seller, and she will remain as the resident agent licensee, and she lives in the community, so she's part of the community as well, so he has a full support of the seller who will remain as the licensee, and Mr. York, of course, has some experience in the liquor industry. I believe you work for
Multiple distributors.
Yes, he used to work for distributors for 20 years, so he is from the industry. And also he had some TAM certified, and now he's alcohol awareness certified, and he's familiar with the rules and regulations. He studied thoroughly. He aced the test, and otherwise he's a person of good moral character, has clean record, and he knows all the rules and regulations. So his intention is to maintain the business as is, with the guidance of Ms. Amato, who's the current licensee. And therefore, I believe he's a fit and proper person to be a licensee, and we request that this transfer be approved.
And was this MOU signed?
Yes.
Let me look at my, hold on one second. Okay. That was my only question. Any questions, commissioners?
No question, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, no questions?
Based on the proffer made today, the exhibits that were entered into the record, and the application materials, I vote to approve this application to transfer ownership of this Class A beer, wine, and liquor license with the delivery of alcoholic beverages, subject to the MOU that we have here in front of us, as enforceable by law.
Based on the proffer made by council and the statements provided to the board, I vote to approve this application to transfer ownership of this Class A beer, wine, and liquor license with delivery of alcohol beverages.
I will also vote to approve this application to transfer ownership of this Class A beer, wine, and liquor license with delivery of alcoholic beverages, subject to the MOU that was presented by your council.
Exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, MOU between Roland Improvement Association, applicants dated 3/24/26.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
That's right.
Susan Chung and Charlton Arquette McCormick, The New Generation, Inc., trade name pending, 1503 through 05 Light Street, Class A7, beer, wine, and liquor license, application to transfer ownership requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Thank you,
Postponement
Commissioners.
request.
Abraham Hurdle on behalf of the applicant. My apologies, they're not here. They're asking for a postponement request. There's been a little bit of confusion with the zoning. This was a BD7 that was converted to an A7 via councilmatic ordinance via the state code, and the use permit indicates it's
okay.
It's a tavern. It's just a bit of an interesting situation. We're trying to work through some aspects of it. So just ask for a brief postponement if that's possible.
It's granted, yes.
Thank you.
Maria Costello and Taha Mane Samuel, Salt and Lime LLC, trading as Salt and Lime, 1718 Thames Street, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license, amended application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service, requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Cadency representing. This is an amended application due to a corporate restructure. There's already existing MOU that's in place that they agreed to be bound by. Taja Samuel will become an additional officer in the corporation. Other than that, there's no change.
Okay. One second. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it, okay. Give me 1 second, let me read what was just handed over. Can you raise your right hand?
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Can you state and then spell your name?
Yes, my name is Jeffrey Dewberry. I'm the Vice President for the Society for the Preservation of Farrow Hill and Fells Point. I'm also representing the Fells Point Residents Association today, as they were unable to make it. We have continued concerns about this property at this point. The property has multiple DHCD violations, and also the lack of communication from both the owner of the property and the license holders. Both organizations reached out in a joint email to license holders at the beginning of the month when the notice of transfer was put up. We received nothing back to state why this transfer was occurring or anything. Some other problems that have occurred at this location currently, it is the front windows are filled with graffiti. There was a abandoned outdoor seating parklet that the city unfortunately had to come in under DOT auspices to remove, even after the owner of the building and the licensees said they would remove it, and said that they would, it was a tenant amenity saying, we'll remove it eventually, but they never did. So on the city taxpayer dime, the Department of Transportation had to come in. At this point, this is one of our only vacant bars and restaurants along the 1700 block of Thames Street. And we're tired of the speculative nature of this. The building is in disrepair. The building has multiple DHCD violations, and we are absolutely tired of this. I've spoken to the property owner. He's no longer responding to us, and we just want to understand what is the concrete plan. This is now the second time that Salt and Lime has come to try to do a transfer or a restructure, something of that nature. We're just tired of it. And, at this point, a liquor license is a privilege, not a speculative asset that should be viewed.
Yeah. So your concern, is it not just with the building, is it with Salt and Lime also, or is it mainly?
We have not seen a concrete plan. Fells Point Residents Association did enter into a MOU, but we have not seen construction. We have not seen permits pulled. We have not seen anything pulled for this location at this point.
So you're saying an MOU was signed, but
Was signed
you
by-
don't know what's happening after.
Right, and exactly. We don't know what's happening, lack of communication, all of that.
Only thing I can say is the building owner who I talked to was in the process of trying to see what kind of permits they could pull. That he doesn't, not part of Salt and Lime, and that's been the holdup and the reason why there had to be some restructuring on it. I understand that in order for them to open, they would have to get use and occupancy certificates, which means they have to be approved by building, fire, electrical, health. So until that happens, they can't open anyhow. As to the lack of communication, I'll try to get a hold of the owner of the building to try to get a hold of Mr.
Dewberry.
Barry, okay, and sit down and talk with him about what has to be done with the building. But that building's had a license there for quite some time.
Right, and I would like to ask one question of council. Is this a operating agreement where the owner has entered into an operating agreement for the licensees to operate the license, but he continues to own the license?
No, well, so it would be in a lease. And most commercial leases is a take back by the landlord at the event of the license expires. There's a take back, but no, they're only leasing the property.
Also, a question, you were saying the use and occupancy permit. A use and occupancy permit was attempted to be pulled back in 2025. That is in the file. What are we doing at this point?
Well, they have to get together with the landlord and get them to make arrangements with regard to the leasing and what the tenant's going to do and what the landlord has to do. That's the problem.
Okay. I feel like this is a communication issue that I think you guys can talk. Would you be okay speaking with Mr. Dewberry and making sure that they understand what's going on? Yeah, because I can understand not knowing what's happening, having one of the only vacant locations in that area, and we do know it takes time. But I think the communication would be helpful for you to know what's happening and for the community to know what's happening. Have you guys used our staff to help with the communication also?
Yes, we work with Matt all the time, community liaison. And if I could respond to your question, Commissioner, is with the communication is the fact that, number one, now we have rental signs. So we're trying to understand what exactly is going on here. They put up for rent and things. So now we're asking, is this concept even real? Is this, predicated on just trying to keep everything that? As I said, this is a pivotal year for Baltimore with Sale 250 coming in, and we do not want to have this bladed structure continue and this continued thing. This is also, as I said, the second time we're upon this board with a transfer or something. We just don't want to go to a third at this point.
Council, can you speak to the rent sign that he's speaking about?
You have to probably talk to the landlord. That would be the person who put it up. We're only tenants in the case.
But your tenant is here now, and your tenant, it's her intention to move forward with her business in that location. Is it?
That's what was given, the information. You can step up. Give your name and address to the record, please. You don't need the address. I got it.
Just raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear affirm and penalty perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and the truth?
Yes, I do.
State your name.
Taja Samuel.
And regarding the sign, they're talking about the for rent sign, do you know who put that sign up?
I am not sure. Possibly the landlord. I'm not sure. Possibly the landlord.
And there are other floors above the restaurant, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't put the sign up?
No.
And you're a tenant there, the Salt and Lime is a tenant there up till now, is that correct?
Correct.
You have a lease, ma'am. You have a lease, correct?
I know there is a
Yes.
lease, I've seen it.
Yes.
Do we have
You have a copy? Yeah, do we have that?
Have it on.
Not well submitted, though.
And the lease term is not ending this year or anytime soon, is it?
No.
No.
Okay. So you're stating that for rent sign could be for another property that's attached to the building or
Yes.
above your location? Okay.
But and I agree with you. I think best that they talk with Mr. Dewberry, then they can straighten those issues out, because obviously the landlord is a vested owner in the area with the property, and they want to get the business there. And if it's a vacant building, you want to get the building open and operating.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page. We want
Yes,
something
and
there.
I will say, council, I did talk to you back in February 2025 about this, and I also spoke to the owner, and you were made aware of all of this back in February 2025. Yes, I called you personally.
Okay. So after this hearing, if you guys could exchange information, if you don't have it, and go ahead and communicate. And Matt, if you need to jump in at any point, please do so if you need to, okay? All right. Any other questions, commissioners?
My last question is, I just think that, I always like to see businesses and the community work together. And I think it's breaking communication right now that is kind of disturbing.
Yeah, no questions at this time.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for expressing your views. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, commissioners.
Yes. Based on the application materials, the amended application, the proffer made by council, the testimony that was given, and testimony also given by the community, that was well received, I do believe that there's enough to approve this amended application to transfer ownership of this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license with the continuation of live entertainment, outdoor table service, and delivery of alcoholic beverages. I do need the parties to talk to each other and make sure that the community understands what's going on.
And
Okay?
it's subject to the existing MOU, which is also included here.
Yes, yes. Subject to the memorandum of understanding as enforceable by law. Okay.
I concur with the chairman. I vote to approve this amended application to transfer ownership of this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license with live entertainment, outdoor table service, and delivery of alcohol beverages, also with the subject of the enforcement of the MOU as well.
I will vote to approve the amended application to transfer ownership of this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license with live entertainment, outdoor table service, and delivery of alcoholic beverages, subject to the existing MOU.
Ms. Russell.
Exhibits for the record, Board Exhibit 1, letter of opposition from Fells Point Resident Association. 2, letter of opposition from the Society for the Preservation of Federal Hill and Fells Point.
Thank you for coming and speaking. Thank you and good luck.
Dina Gleason, Urban Axis Baltimore LLC, trading as Urban Axis, 1 North Haven Street, Suite 101. Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license application to transfer ownership. Please.
Thank you. Still morning. Good morning.
Still morning. Good morning, Brooke Hutchins with the law firm Rosenberg Martin Greenberg. I'm here on behalf of the proposed licensee, Urban Axis Baltimore LLC. I'm joined by Ms. Dina Gleason, who is the individual licensee applicant. We're here today because we filed an application to transfer the ownership of the existing BD7 to Dina as the sole individual licensee. The licensed premises is currently operated as a tavern known as Urban Axis. Pursuant to Section 4302 of the Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis article, this board approves the transfer of the license in the same way that it approves a brand-new license. So the licensed premises has operated as Urban Axis since 2018. This board originally issued the license to Krista Patton and another individual in 2018. About a year later, one of the licensees was removed and Ms. Gleason was added. And now we're back again because Ms. Gleason is going to be the sole individual on the license. She's also now the 100% owner of Urban Access Baltimore LLC. All other aspects of Urban Access will continue to remain the same. The hearing is due to the change in ownership of the business and the individual licensee. So a little bit about Urban Access, if you don't know about it, it's a unique social concept that offers indoor competitive axe throwing, in addition to serving as a place for patrons to enjoy craft beers and wine. Competitors utilize their own lane and compete side to side while under the supervision of a coach. The hours of operation are currently Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 6 to 10 p.m., and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's weird, axe throwing and drinking, but there are safety precautions in place. The throwing areas are cordoned off from the viewing areas, similar to batting cages, so there's fencing in between throwers. Axe throwing sessions begin with a briefing by a coach and one-on-one training. That same coach remains present while the axe throwing takes place. Customers are not allowed to throw while drinking. The establishment cards everyone appearing under the age of 30, and all managers, bar, and wait staff take place in alcohol awareness training. So Ms. Gleason, like I mentioned, has served as an individual licensee since 2019. And she's held the title of manager at Urban Access for 8 years. As a result of this experience, she is familiar with the board's rules and regulations and pledges to continue to abide by them. As for the board's criteria, after opening in 2018, this unique concept skyrocketed and has become a really popular staple in the city, demonstrating the desire for the license. As I mentioned, it's already Ms. Gleason has held the license for 8 years, and the operation isn't changing, so this approval is not going to have an impact on existing licenses in the area. The unique nature of the operation also eliminates the potential for any commonality of services. As far as health, safety, and welfare of the community, Urban Access' first priority is safety just due to the operation. So there are security measures in place, as I previously mentioned, and they've operated for 8 years under the management of Ms. Gleason without any problems, and we don't foresee any in the future. So for the foregoing reasons, we request that the board approve this license.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchins. Any questions, commissioners?
No questions.
No questions.
Okay. Based on the application materials, proffer made by council, the exhibits that were entered into the record, I vote to approve this Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. And it's really the application to transfer ownership of this Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
I also vote to approve this application to transfer ownership of this Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
I will also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership of this Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Ms. Russell.
Medical exhibits for the record, Board Exhibit Number 1, Business Plan.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
Matthew Lawrence Ogden Decatur Pub, LLC, trade name pending, 1401 Decatur Street, Class D beer, wine, and liquor license. Application to transfer ownership, requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Konetsky representing the applicant. This is an application to transfer a Class D 6-day license. It's a small little pub in Decatur Street in South Baltimore. I probably did this transfer for a couple times. The current parties got it back in 2020. It hasn't been any problems there. The reason why we have the trade name pending, their name is Last Penny. We thought, nah, we'll figure something out later on. The applicant in this case is alcohol certified. He's been fingerprinted and was serving alcohol by alcohol certified. He has probably 10, 15, or 18 years of experience in the alcoholic beverage business, working at various establishments. Other than that, I think this will be a good transfer for that area.
I have no questions. Commissioners, do you have any questions on this one?
I have no questions.
Okay. Based on the application materials, proffer made by council, I vote to approve this application to transfer ownership of this Class D beer, wine, and liquor license with the delivery of alcoholic beverages.
I also vote to approve this application to transfer ownership made by the proffer by council today for this Class D beer, wine, and liquor license with delivery of alcohol beverages.
I will also vote to approve this application to transfer ownership of this Class D beer, wine, and liquor license with delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Best wishes.
Okay, final case of the day. Shamira Lemon, Epic Nights LLC, trade name pending, 1140 South Paca Street. Application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages and Cannabis Article, Section 12-903C2, requiring $500,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities, 51% of food sales and seating capacity for a minimum of 75, but not more than 150 people, requesting outdoor table service and delivery of alcoholic beverages. Please come forward.
Abraham Hurd on behalf of the applicant. I do have the applicant with me, as well as her husband and Mr. Johnson, who we would proffer as an expert.
Go ahead. Are you going to proffer, or is it going to be testimony also?
There will be proffer and testimony, just to make it a little more brief, if that's possible.
Did proffer and testimony, or just
Yeah,
proffer?
I would try to proffer what I can to move things along a little more quickly.
Anybody that's going to testify, please raise your right hand. Get that out of the way now.
You swear affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Go ahead, Mr. Earl.
Thank you, Commissioners. This is an application for a new B at 1140 South Paca Street. The requirements for our capital expenditures of over $500,000 and seating of 75 to 150, but not more than 150. The applicants are requesting outdoor table service and delivery of alcoholic beverages, but not live entertainment. That would require a zoning conditional use and then a trip back to the liquor board. It's zoned as IMU 2, I believe, and we're just a couple of blocks from the stadium. I had a chance to review the file a couple of weeks ago, and there were some letters in opposition as well as a handful of letters in support. We also submitted significant petitions earlier this week. I'm not sure if they made it into the file. I do have copies of those, and I'm happy to pass them up. It looks like there's about 40 letters of people who have signed in support of this location. This location used to be a jazz club, so it's previously been a restaurant. It's built as a restaurant. My clients currently have a sales and use tax license, a use permit has been issued, and they have a trader's license. They are able to operate today as a restaurant, they just can't sell alcohol. If the board were to approve the license, they would be able to pick it up probably in the next couple of days, and they would presume alcohol sales at that time while buying from wholesalers as they are required. Both Ms. Lemon and her husband have alcohol awareness certifications, and their plan is to have their staff alcohol awareness certified. Certainly anybody who's handling or in the proximity of alcohol. I'm not sure that chefs or cooks will be alcohol awareness certified, as it's not necessarily a big requirement in that regard. Location has significant seating. There's been some concerns as to them being open, and we wanted to address them. My client signed a lease over last summer, and they went through the process immediately of getting all their inspections and permits and processes in place. On 5 occasions prior to the hearing, which was originally scheduled in November, the location was open and operating in some capacity. On 3 of those occasions, one of them was for a birthday party for Miss Lemon's daughter, and there was no alcohol served because everyone was a college student and under 21. On 2 other days, there was a restaurant opening, which is permitted because they are a restaurant. They're fully authorized by the city to be open because they have a use permit, trader's license, sales and use tax license. And there again, they could be open today, selling food at basically all hours. On 2 other occasions, prior to them sitting down with me, they had rented the space out to some private promoters who did some advertising and were unaware whether alcohol was sold or not. My clients didn't sell any alcohol. They didn't purchase any alcohol. When we sat down, we talked about that process, and that immediately ceased at that time. So on 2 occasions, it sounds like maybe some things that shouldn't have happened did. My clients weren't fully in control of it. We talked about the different processes and responsibilities and how the city views these things, and the liquor board handles these things. And they have not been open basically since September. I have BG&E bills that show the BG&E was cut off in October and was only reopened in late February. I also have bank statements for the business from the same dates indicating that they've done no transactions in the last basically 6 months. Some of the letters from the community are confusing to me, and it's kind of the opposite situation that Mr. Kadensky had a moment ago, where the community had reached out repeatedly to the prospective licensees, whereas our initial hearing for this matter was scheduled in November, and there was a postponement request granted so that we could meet with the community. My clients met with the community December 2nd. It's my understanding at the time that that vote was in favor. An MOU was proposed, a letter of support was drafted, and we were scheduled back in for a hearing in January. At that time, January, February, my apologies, I don't remember the exact date. A couple days before, I was contacted indicating that something had happened with the community and they were all of a sudden in opposition. There was no meeting that we were told of that the community had that my clients, who are now paying voting members of the community association, were invited to. No one contacted us to indicate additional concerns or express concerns or questions. We've reached out to the councilwoman in this district to try to get some sort of feedback and have not had much luck with that. We've done everything we can to try to get an understanding as to where and what the opposition is. My clients have sent emails to community members. They've sent letters in people's mailboxes to try to get an understanding and introduce themselves. They've gone door to door and gotten petitions from dozens of individuals who are in support. This is a vacant space that, again, used to be a restaurant. There's a brewery about 2 doors down from them that doesn't do food. Mr. Johnson will come up in a moment and indicate that he toured the area, talked to my clients at length, talked about the process at length, and that people in the community indicated to him personally that they're looking forward to having a place that serves food. They do have a menu. The menu is not an extensive Caribbean menu. It doesn't have many vegan options. This is a location that's close to the stadium. So their goal is to have food that they can put out quickly and they can process customers in and out if they need to. There's no desire for live entertainment at this time. This isn't designed to be a late night operation. Despite the fact that it's Epic Nights as a name, we're looking for something possibly less epic in terms of their operations. They've expressed to me that their goal would be to be open till probably 10 most nights, 11 on occasion, and then a little bit later when there's a sporting event. So if there's an 8 o'clock football game, they would anticipate being open probably till 11:30 or midnight, just because the game gets out a little bit later at that time. The use, in terms of a restaurant, is a permissive use in the area, so there's no issues in terms of parking, safety, things of that nature. But I'm going to let Mr. Johnson kind of speak to more of that. At this time, I'd like to call Ms. Lemon just to testify very briefly about her operations.
They've all been sworn in already.
I've been
Yes.
sworn, but if we can get names and spellings when each speaker comes up.
Shamir Lemon, which is the licensee.
Spelling?
Shamira, last name Lemon, Lemon. How you doing, Ms. Lemon?
I'm doing well.
Your plan is to operate here during kind of reasonable hours, midnight maybe at the latest. Is that correct?
Correct.
And we had a chance to talk about the
Can you,
couple of...
can you step up a little bit to make sure we can hear you?
And you had a chance to talk to me about the various different operational requirements that the city has, and that's one of the reasons that all operations effectively ceased in September. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you guys could have been open yesterday or October or December as a restaurant. Is that right?
Correct.
And even today, if the license were to be granted without the MOU that had been presented to us, which we were willing to sign, you'd be happy to engage with the community and continue to work with them to address continuing concerns.
Correct.
You want to be a part of this community. Is that correct?
Correct.
I would ask if the board has any questions or if your opposition has any questions at this time.
So you haven't spoken to the councilwoman or the community in how long? How long has it been?
The last meeting that we attended was in January, and we were told that we were approved for the MOU, and I believe she sent us the letter of support through email from the citizens of Pigtown. I'm sorry. I reached back out right before my hearing to ask, was everything good to go? My attorney then told me, he said, it's not good to go. He was like, it was a problem. He said you had a lot of different letters.
You don't have to tell me what your attorney said on the record.
But yeah, so from my knowledge, that was the last conversation I had. I was approved. I don't know how I got back to this point.
So there were a couple of occasions that your counsel stated that that alcohol was being sold without a license. Is that what happened? Or was it something
I wasn't
else?
sure. I told him that we rented the building out.
Mm-hmm.
No alcohol was sold from my knowledge.
Mr. Hurdle, do you know if alcohol was sold during that
We have no
time?
idea. We saw some pictures of some promoters on Instagram. It's our belief that people may have been operating illegally. And again, that was immediately ceased.
And when did that happen?
That was in August?
August.
Is that the last time it happened, you believe, in August?
Yes.
They've been closed since September.
So when we met with our attorney, he told us, he said, just don't do anything. Don't operate. So we have been shut down completely for months.
I do have a copy of the MOU as well as the, I assume, draft letter of support from the citizens of Pigtown if the board would appreciate that document.
Okay, you can submit that, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before I Would you like to finish presenting your case before I ask the community to speak? Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, there have been some concerns that you guys are, I guess, kind of running a place that's going to be the Wild West or anti-law enforcement. Is that correct?
Correct.
And is any of that true at all?
No, it's not true.
It's my understanding that your husband is a military veteran who served 2 tours. Is that correct?
Correct.
And he is a former DC police officer?
Correct.
Does he currently run a security company?
Correct.
At this time, I would just call Mr. Johnson. I don't know that I need to speak to Mr. We're going to have Mr. Watson testify, just in case he has anything else to add.
Okay.
Mr. Watson, can you please state your name and spell it?
Tavon Watson. First name spelled T-A-V as in Victor, O-N as in Nancy. Watson is common spelling, W-A-T-S-O-N.
And Mr. Watson, the location in question, since there were the concerns about operations early in the fall, has the business been open in any capacity?
No.
And you take these concerns very seriously, correct?
Correct.
And that's because of your military and civil service background, correct?
Correct.
And going forward, will security be an issue at this bar?
Negative, as I'll use my own team to provide security services.
And if the community came to you with any concerns or noise or security concerns, you'd be happy to address them at any time, correct?
That is correct.
I have no further questions, Mr. Watson.
I don't have any questions for Mr. Watson right now. Commissioners, do you?
Not at this time.
Do you have
Till I
any
hear
questions?
from.
Sir, did you have any questions? I'm sorry.
Just a statement when we're ready.
We'll wait. I'll let you put your case on, and as long as they stay here, then questions can be asked to your witnesses if they have any.
Absolutely. Mr. Johnson, can you please introduce yourself to the board?
Certainly. For the record, my name is Martin Johnson, M-A-R-T-I-N Johnson. Address is P.O. Box 44, Woodstock, Maryland, 21163.
And Mr. Johnson, what's your background in terms of what liquor license is?
Yeah. Well, I'm the founder and owner of Maryland Liquor License Services. I started it in 2010 after I retired from the Howard County, Maryland Police Department. I was there for 25 years and 2 months. 7 years on the street, 18 years as a plainclothes detective. 13 of those years were as assigned by the police chief to be the alcoholic beverage inspector for Howard County.
Did you draft a report as part of your process here and with the assisting the prospective licensees?
I did.
I'm not sure if the board had it. We did submit it. I do have copies of it.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Just reading the MOU.
Yeah, we're here. All right.
Mr. Johnson, if you could summarize your report.
Sure. I'll hopefully be able to summarize, but I do want to be able to have specific parts that I may read to you for specificity. So Mr. Hurdle called me and asked me to assess this case. I read the application. The application, Shamir Lemon is the applicant. I learned.
Before you move forward.
Yes, sir.
Do they have a copy of his report?
I have a copy. I can certainly provide a copy to them.
I have an extra one right here, so. Mr. Hurdle, I have an extra one right here if you want to. See that. while he's talking.
Sure. So the restaurant's located on the southwest corner of South Paca Street and West Street. It's in two-block proximity to the M&T Bank Stadium, 2 blocks away. It's an end unit in a row of structures that include a brewery directly next door. They share a wall with a brewery. Next to the brewery, there are townhomes, a row of townhomes. In my report, I have a little map there, and the dot indicates the exact.
This used to be a cigar lounge in the past. Is this the same spot that was on that corner?
I know it was called Bobby's Place, but I don't know that it was a cigar lounge. So the building is 2 stories tall from the ground level. Cinder block construction, has a rear wooden upper deck. Access to the deck is from the stairs, which come from the sidewalk or from within the building. I did meet on March 22nd with Mr. Watson at the location. Saw that the exterior of the building and its surrounds were clean and free of debris or trash. That place was clean. It was like Singapore. Inside the business on the first floor, I found that there's an L-shaped bar with seating for 11 people, and that's in the main room. Above and beyond and behind the bar were 2 television sets mounted on the wall. There was 1 sound speaker that was mounted, but actually placed, I won't even say mounted, it was placed on a shelf behind the bar. 1 sound speaker for the whole place. Mr. Watson demonstrated its operation. He hooked up his, through Bluetooth, he hooked up his telephone, and it's a Bluetooth speaker. He turned both up, and I could hear what the speaker was capable of doing. In that same room, that first room, there's standing room on the left side. So if you walk in, bar is on the right, seating for 11 people. There's standing room on the left-hand side. And what I mean by that is there's places where people would I can envision people ordinarily standing. There's a small shelf there that goes the whole length of the room where people could put their drinks or food, food plates, things like that. Further in, there's another small room, and it kind of just goes straight back. That other small room, there are no doors to it, front or back, and that room has, excuse me for 1 second, I'll get my numbers straight.
You don't have to describe the area.
Okay.
But
all right.
Is that what you want your expert to do, or do you want to?
Questions beyond some of this stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Johnson, did you have a chance to talk to any members of the community while you were there?
Only one of the owners of the Pickett's Brewery next door, directly next door, they share a wall.
Did they indicate an opposition to this establishment getting a liquor license?
I spoke with, actually, the 3 of us spoke, Mr. Watson and Jason Howard, and I were in the conversation. Mr. Howard did not indicate at that time any opposition. In fact, he said, and I'll quote him, quote, "There are times I wish you were open. I don't have any food here," end quote.
And Mr. Johnson, in your experience as a liquor inspector who's done any number of liquor inspections, analyzed restaurants, worked with different licensees, do you believe that this license is in competition with any restaurants or similar establishments nearby?
Well, it's tough to be in competition with a brewery like that. The character of the building is totally different, and the brewery was rolling. There were a lot of people there. There was lots of people having a good time. It's open. The whole front opens up to the street. The character, as described and as I've seen of the business, is quite different from the brewery. Brewery's much more open doors. This has closed doors. Down about 1 block away is Firehouse, Game Day Firehouse. I guess you could call it a bar. It was not open. It's only open very limited times. So between the limitation of the times of opening and the character of the place and the way it's set up, and food next door at Pickett's, nope. Food here, yes. So there are a lot of differences. So I wouldn't say that it's direct competition. It's not like opening a Chinese restaurant next to a Chinese restaurant.
And my last question, Mr. Johnson, do you believe that there will be any impact from this license negatively on the health, safety, and welfare of the community, including crime, traffic conditions, or parking inconvenience, as far as you're aware?
No, not as far as I'm aware. I didn't see anything that suggested that that would happen. Can I guarantee it will never happen? No, of course not. We can't. But I didn't see anything that stuck out to me. Otherwise, I would have made sure that everybody knew about it. The only one concern that I had was when Mr. Watson told me that on one occasion, a person who lives in the neighborhood complained about loud music emanating from the business. So I had him turn on the speaker, turn it all the way up, plug in some music, turn it all the way up from the source, and that was with that one speaker on the first floor behind the bar. And could I hear it inside? Of course, I was inside. I had him keep it up. I went outside, and as soon as I closed the door, I couldn't hear it, honestly. I had to put my ear literally up against the door in order to hear vibration at the front door. Then I went to the side door and did the same thing, and it was a little less loud when I put my ear up against the door. But really, I couldn't hear a thing once I was outside.
This location has outdoor decks also, correct?
It does. There's an upstairs outdoor deck.
The brewery next door, do they have live entertainment?
I heard music, but I don't know if it was live or not. I didn't go inside. I saw it from outside.
I have no further questions.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
None at this time.
None at this time till I hear from the community.
Okay. Thank you. That's your case, Ms. Harrell?
At this time.
Yes,
We
thank
would
you.
reserve the right for rebuttal.
Yes. Go ahead. Please state your name.
Alan Hawley, Sergeant with the Baltimore City Sheriff's Office Special Operation Division. In the month of August 2025, the Baltimore City Sheriff's Office received multiple community-related complaints in reference to Epic Lounge located at 1140 South Paca Street. Notably, one complaint was highlighted on an Instagram post, and I will hold the name of that Instagram post, but I'm just going to pull it up here, indulgence. The post references a hangover birthday celebration at 1140 Paca Street for August 15th, 2025. At that time, members of Special Operations Division executed an undercover operation utilizing two deputies, which will be named UC1 and 2 for the purposes of today's testimony. Surveillance and operation conducted and concluded around the periods of about 8 p.m. to about midnight. Myself, I was a supervisor on that operation and was outside of the establishment. We did maintain internal communications with video and audio with my UCs that were inside. Two UCs approached the front door and identified one male and one female. Both at this time are unidentified for investigative purposes. Female was identified as wearing black tank dress with and presented themselves to have a $10 cover charge. We provided buy money, and $20 was placed for them to gain entry into the establishment, noting that it was not a private event at that time. It was open to the public and, subject to an entry fee. Once inside, my uniformed deputies observed a bar area fully lit to the right with bar stools aligned along the counter with the TV on, and it was observed various products that had RUM as in rum displayed on the bottles. A female was later identified as the bartender who had long black hair, red hat, wearing a red tank top, black leggings. No identifying name for the purposes of today's testimony. My undercovers asked to see a menu. After being provided a menu, the menu did not list any alcoholic beverages. The undercovers asked if they did serve alcohol, at which time the bartender did respond with yes, and what did they want. UCs replied, "Surprise me." Bartender prepared a mixed cocktail behind the bar and out of the view of the presence of the UCs. It is our understanding that they poured it underneath the bar. We do have photos as well. The bartender again prepared a second drink out of the view of the top level of the bar for the second UC. And as they asked what was inside of the alcoholic beverage, the bartender stated it contained, in quotations, rum juice and some other stuff. With more conversation with my UCs inside to verify that they were receiving alcohol, they did taste the subject, but I also wanted them to get something that was clearly labeled and unopened. So at that time, I requested that they purchase a beer. The bartender said that they had Corona, Blue Moon, and Heineken. The UC ordered a Blue Moon, and it was observed that the bartender did retrieve a bottle of Blue Moon Belgian beer, open it, and poured it into a clear 12-ounce container as a cup. The same thing was done for the second UC, and we were able to convince the bartender to let us keep the can so that we could photograph it for our investigation. After the UCs consumed the alcoholic beverages to include the beers, they requested the tab. The bartender advised that the total was $26. They asked for a breakdown of the price of the drinks, and the mixed cocktails were $10 each. The beers were $3 each. My UCs left a $4 tip. No receipt was given, and they exited the establishment, and then we drove them home. From my vantage point outside, part of the crash team, I did observe multiple individuals entering the establishment without beverage, cups, anything of that nature, and then they would return outside of the establishment with cups, notably the same clear plastic cups that my deputies advised they had their alcoholic beverages poured into. For a solid 30 to 45 minutes, we did observe different groups of people gathering, crowding around the front. It was noted that they did appear highly intoxicated, staggering, wobbly. They would hang out front of the establishment. They would roam inside of the immediate area of the community, and then they would return highly intoxicated and potentially be reserved by the same establishment. They were in the front, right in front of the brewery, because the brewery, I believe, had shut down right around 10 o'clock, if my memory serves me correct. So from the brewery and all the way down to the edge of the corner, and then on the other side, we'll call that the number 2 side of the building, going down towards a dark alley, they would just roam that area back and forth, and they would just twerk up and down the street. I do have surveillance photos of multiple individuals actually being served copious amounts of alcohol, which we can assume. So once again, as stated, Baltimore City Sheriff's Office does have in its possession photos, videos of community concerns, as well as the Instagram marketing flyer. And if called to testify, UCs would acknowledge that they were sold alcohol. Pending any questions.
Any questions?
No questions.
So I guess there are two things I'm hearing, that there was service of alcohol that did occur underneath the bar, and then after that, there was service of individuals that left the establishment with cups from, presumably with alcohol in those cups, and left the establishment?
Yes, sir. So we did observe the individuals that were going in. Right around the 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock period, my UCs advised that the party location was shifting, so not as many people were coming to the event. So we were able to get a good head count of about 10 to 15 at a solid time. So we were able to manage who was coming in and out. Notably, it was one gentleman that kept going in and out, and without falsifying here, I believe it was 2 or 3 females. Those were the individuals that would come in and come out with their cups, roam the community. There was a couple of instances of people just taking that clear cup that they did not go in with, exit, and then, go on about their evening.
Was your UCs, were they carded at the door?
No.
Nobody was carded?
Nope, just request for $10 for a cover charge.
So when they got in, they wasn't carded at the bar?
No, sir.
Were they of age?
Yes. We did attempt, without going too far into the investigation, we did attempt to take one of our underage cadets back in there, but at that time, the establishment had canceled the event for that evening.
You said canceled the event?
Yes, whatever event they were supposed to have that was
When was that?
promoted. I believe that was about a week later, after the initial.
Approximate date?
Approximate, on or about, I would just say in the month of August.
And have you been back since then?
It's an ongoing investigation, sir.
It's an ongoing investigation. What does that mean?
So there is a criminality aspect to this. The liquor board agents don't have purview because they do not have a liquor license, and alcohol, tobacco, and cannabis commission doesn't have certain purviews as well. So the sheriff's office, being that we have civil and criminal authority, have opened an internal investigation to the owners of the establishment.
Do you know if the owners were there on the dates you were there in August?
I'm not able to testify to that, sir.
Questions?
I have just a couple of follow-up questions as a result of yours, if that's okay.
Oh, yes.
So you indicated that there's an ongoing investigation. Have you been back to the location and found it open since that August 15th date?
I'm not able to comment on that.
Then I would move to strike the testimony.
Which portion of the testimony?
All of it
All
at
of
this
it?
point.
What's
I
the
think
reason?
that the situation is, they're trying to indicate that the place is, excuse me, Councilwoman.
No, I'm listening to you.
She's guiding the witness over here.
You said she's guiding the witness?
Yeah, she's pointing out all kinds of stuff to him right now.
Okay.
He can testify to his knowledge and not to what she's showing him. The question is, have they been open since the August 15th date, since you've been back? Yes or no?
Have they been open? You
your
would have to
knowledge.
tell me that. I don't know if they've been open.
I'm asking you if you've been back and they've been open.
Have we been back? Yes. Have they been
Open
open
on those
when we've been back? I didn't say how many occasions, but to reference your point, the instances in which we went back, there was no operation at that time.
Then no further questions.
Okay. No further questions from you?
No.
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, I mean, overall, I don't know if the councilwoman is going to provide any testimony, but in terms of what I've been hearing, I mean, do you consider this business a destination business, or is this going to be a neighborhood business?
My clients are hoping that this is going to be a neighborhood business that's going to bring, I mean, I think every business, whether neighborhood or otherwise, would like people from far and away to come visit. I don't think that they're going to have, again, this isn't going to have Caribbean food or a fancy vegan menu that's going to be a particular draw for necessarily a particular group. But this is going to be a business that they think is going to be busy most days. They're hopeful, and they're hopeful it's going to be very busy on game nights when there's always people looking to go to a place to get something to eat that's a reasonable price and to get a drink when they're at the stadium.
So when
They're
you,
hoping to be a part of the community. They genuinely are. And again, they've reached out on any number of occasions. They've sent letters to the various members in the area. And they've tried to address any concerns. But since our last hearing, when it was postponed, because something changed, which we haven't been informed of, we're not sure why it changed. I've reviewed the bylaws for the community group, and I'm not sure if they held a meeting or if they decided via their board to revoke the previous letter of support. We haven't actually heard that they've revoked their support.
so how many times has the business owners made an effort to reach out to the community associations?
Oh, geez, I'd ask them because it's just so many times. Mr. Watson, how many times have you tried to reach out to members of the community or the community association?
There's an email chain, and I believe even the liquor board or representative, Matt, is on the same chain. At least 5, 10 plus emails going back and forth, with the oldest email coming before we even signed the lease, with us reaching out at the guidance of Matt, because we had a certain period of time to decide if we would be welcomed by the neighborhood. I sent that email out, I want to say in 2024, October, without going into my notes. It went unanswered, and we didn't gain any community interaction until roughly around when the notice went up, after trying going door to door and standing outside and talking to people. And then that's when we ran into some of this. But we had at least 5 emails going back and forth. That's how I even have the drafted MOU with the letter of support that he presented in front of you today. We went exactly by their guidance. We've invited them multiple times to talk about our hours. At the rate that this is costing us, we have my business is helping support this business right now. So we're trying to get this business to support itself. So right now, financially, it's not happening because there's been no operation.
Mr. Watson,
So-
have you gone, my apologies.
Yeah, I do have a question. So, you stated, your council has stated, and is it your belief that you can operate as a restaurant without a liquor license? Or is it that it's your preference that you,
Our intention, when we looked at when we found the location and it's set up as a bar restaurant, the intention was to operate as a bar and restaurant, but we are currently fully licensed by Baltimore City to operate as a restaurant.
okay. So I'm looking at the pictures here that you have presented as an exhibit for us, and I see very limited equipment to operate as a restaurant.
You're talking
Do
about
you have additional
pictures?
equipment? Yes, the pictures that your council provided for us as an exhibit. I'm looking at it, it says kitchen on the first floor rear. And to me, this doesn't look like an operable kitchen. I don't know if you were doing any cleaning here, but there's limited equipment here to operate as a restaurant.
If I may, Commissioner.
Yes.
Mr. Watson, you guys are not currently serving food today, is that correct?
That is correct.
And before you would be able to, you would obviously move the pots and pans that are kind of disorganized on the large commercial stove out of the way. You'd have to stock food. You'd have to basically stock up the restaurant. But it is
That is
licensed
correct.
and everything. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And have you also reached out to the community in other methods besides reaching out to the community group via email?
We went door to door. I've had people do the petition, walking around the neighborhood. And that's where just within the past week or two, we obtained those additional signatures.
Okay. And so with the liquor license, this Class B liquor license, 51% of your sales, your food sales, would need to account for your revenue. How do you expect to do that with the menu that you presented?
We understand the requirement, and we have discussed changing or adding additional items to the menu. But initially, that menu was drafted for the health department when we were going through the permitting process, and we had to put a basic menu, like bar food thing type together is what we did.
Well, with the submissions that you put to the health department, it's supposed to be the actual menu that you plan on serving to
And that
your
is the
patrons.
actual menu that we plan on serving, but we also know that we can go back and submit additional items as needed.
Because that's what we were told, that we could always add and take away.
Have you served those items on that menu ever at this location?
Yes, we had, when we were fully licensed and everything was approved, we opened up the business one time for family to come and see as like a grand open. It was family. Nobody from the public came. It was strictly mothers, cousins, just friends and family that wanted to come, that we wanted to see where our new location was.
So not really a soft opening?
No.
No.
You guys didn't have any alcohol that day, correct? No. You guys are planning to hire a full-time chef, correct?
That is correct.
And they would modify the menu at that time, and you would modify the HACCP plan with the health department?
That is correct.
But you could be open right now, correct?
That is also
Just serve food.
Correct. Well, once they cleaned up the kitchen and.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, please.
And I just wanted to say, in reference to the August event, we were strapped, we needed the money. We rented the pace out because it's just been, but prior to us even getting approved, it was a whole year of just back and forth with the building, fire, we was failing. You understand what I'm saying? So everything just ran way over the timeline that we anticipated. So we did run out the building. But as soon as we got his information, when we came down here to apply, he said, no. He said, don't run it out. He said, because you don't know what the people are going to be doing. And we stopped. So we took, even with the community, we took full responsibility. We said, yes, we should not have rented the building out because we were not sure what they were doing. We took full responsibility, and that's how we were supposed to do the MOU. So I just want to say that as well.
Okay. Anyone else? Councilwoman?
Hello, everyone. Do you need to see my name for the record? Sure. Felicia Porter, Councilwoman for District 10. So I definitely applaud the operators for working with community. However, I just want to clarify a few things with regard to the MOU of support. So the MOU conversation was actually with their board members, not the full general body. And so they had the board meeting where the board members, they talked about the MOU. However, when they came to the general body meeting, that is when they again, talked about it even more and decided not to submit the letter of support. That was the letter of support that I was looking for, along with the applicants for my decision. That was in January. I got an email from somebody actually close by that can be PIA'd. It was sent. It was sent in a public email that was February 14th of this year of a loud party. And I informed I informed the neighbor if there are any issues, call 911 or call 311 if there are any disturbances, which I believe he did. So the conversation of having not been open since August of last year does not substantiate with what was actually shared within the email. And if you have documentation, BG&E records, things of that nature, more than willing to look at that. But as of right now, pending on the conversation from the sheriff's department, the community that have shared it with me of letters of opposition, I can't fully in good conscience support this operation. They have admitted to on record that they have had parties at their establishments in the month of August where they have sold liquor. It does not matter if you are the operator or not. You are the person that is responsible for that building. You should be able to manage your operations. And they have said on record that they did not know whether liquor was sold there or not. So I can't knowingly in good conscience support this liquor license today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? You have any questions for the?
I just have the service request form for the electrical to start on February 23rd that I'd like to submit.
No questions for the council.
Okay.
I do have a couple questions, actually.
No worries. Yes.
Sorry.
No worries.
Councilman, have you had a chance to talk to the licensees or prospective licensees personally besides today?
Yes, I talked with them on a Zoom with the citizens of Pigtown, where I specifically after the first hearing where we were supposed to meet with community, I met with them. Yes.
Have you met with them and spoken to them in any capacity since that time?
No.
Have you addressed any of these concerns with them?
Yes, they were actually sent letters from citizens of Pigtown. Actually,
My apologies, Council. My question was, have you reached out to them to address these concerns?
What do you mean? Have I personally?
Have you personally?
No, I haven't. But I was on emails from, January 27th, where citizens of Pigtown actually reached out to Epic Nights with regard to hookah. And so they were saying that they provided hookah, and they clarified that. Mm-hmm.
Did they ask if they were going to provide hookah, or did they indicate that did my clients indicate they were going to provide hookah, or were they asked if they were going to provide hookah?
They were asked if they were going to provide hookah because citizens of Pigtown actually found an Instagram post where they were going to have hookah at the establishment.
From
And
one
so
of the previous
they wanted, one of the previous events that they wanted to clarify, yes.
Did my clients respond to that email?
They did.
And what did they indicate?
They said they weren't going to provide hookah.
I have no further questions.
Can you speak on the February 14th?
To be honest, I can't because I have the BG&E turn-on notice for February 23rd. They stopped paying their bill for BG&E in October because there was no reason to, because the place was not operating. They had no operations from roughly October of any capacity. I have both the bank records and I have the turn-off notice from October 1st of 25 and the turn-on notice from February 20th, indicating the service will be turned back on February 23rd. So I'm not sure in what capacity, and my clients would be happy to testify on the record as to any event on the 14th.
Does it say when? A turn-off notice doesn't mean that it was turned off. Does it say when it was turned off? Because it could have been turned off the day before or the same day, and they could have turned it right back on.
The letter is, the email from BG&E is dated October 1st. I don't want to misrepresent in any capacity. Indicates our records that you have discontinued energy service to the premises, account number, so on and so forth, and your final payment is overdue. And then there's another email from the 20th indicating service will be turned back on the 23rd.
Yeah, so we can
have you submit those.
Client you know,
So, Council, what do you think the issue is with communication? You have a councilwoman here, you have the sheriff here testifying. What, as counsel to your clients, what do you think the miss of communication? Because I see support for the new license. I see visible support against it. What do you feel like is the issue that's going on with this particular license?
It would be easy for me to speculate, but I would be hesitant to do so. I think that there's just a lot of confusion. I think my clients certainly didn't help themselves by having the building be rented out on 2 occasions where other operators did. I have no information beyond what the sheriff has testified to, and I think he testified, I would say credibly, that there was something that shouldn't have happened that happened that day. My clients have talked to me extensively about it, and again, while the building was rented, they didn't sell any alcohol. I want to be careful how I phrase that because I'm not trying to sit here and say that they're not responsible for the events that occurred that day. Given the pending potential criminal situation, again, I want to be really delicate with the things that I say, but they do take responsibility for the building being operated certainly poorly those days. And I think that's really put them on their back foot. They've tried to do everything they can to try to reach out to the community. They've been told that they were aggressive, which is concerning, and someone had indicated that the operations may not align with the neighborhood, which I'm not sure what that really means. There was a spat that my client got into, I guess, with someone who kind of rents public parking spots during the games, and there was some confusion as to what happened then, and the person had called police, and the police took no action because nothing happened. There was no fight, no assault, nothing of that nature, but just some sort of gentleman who had some confusion or concerns about them coming into the neighborhood. And ultimately, this place is going to be a restaurant. I would love to tell you it's going to be one of these beautiful Port Covington, really fancy restaurants or something exquisite. I'm not sure that's the case. I think they're going to offer good food at a reasonable price, and they're going to offer good drinks at a reasonable price, which I think is in need in the stadium. And ultimately, if it's not in need, they would go out of business. They have all their permits ready to go today, despite the fact that they could have been operating as a restaurant more or less for the last 6 months. They've chosen not to because they don't want to ruffle any more feathers and cause any more issues. Some of the letters from the community that I read indicate they've been routinely open. I don't know how they've been routinely open when they haven't had electrical service from roughly October through February. There were a couple times when things happened that they shouldn't. If we could go back, I'm sure they would make the different decision and not have them be open and not have rented the building out. We've had extensive discussions about how that can't happen once they have a liquor license. I think that promoters are always a big troublesome spot. The liquor board, I think neighborhoods don't like promoters. It brings in a lot of people who cause a lot of issues because they have no dedication to those neighborhoods. That's not the operation that they're trying to plan. They're trying to open a good business and do something nice for the community as well as for themselves. Make no mistake, it's a business. They do want to make money. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a charity. It isn't. But they do want to operate this business. They do want to be a part of the community, and they're absolutely committed. And they've indicated to me time and time again that they would love more feedback. We weren't told by the community that they had pulled their support. We were told by the liquor board that they had pulled their support. We were called a couple days before the last hearing and told something else happened. You guys got to figure it out. We had no idea. We've had no real communication with the community group or the councilwoman or the sheriff's office in any capacity since that date. And it's been a month. We've tried to get an understanding as to what happened. I'm confused as to how there was a different meeting. My clients didn't get an invite to that meeting despite being a dues-paying member of that board, and they're supposed to get an invite to that meeting. I've checked the bylaws, read them top to bottom, and I'm very confused as to what did or didn't occur because there was a vote. It was in favor. At some point, there was a different vote or decision made by somebody. It's unclear as to who, and they changed their mind. We weren't told of that. The liquor board told us that was the issue. And we postponed the hearing so that we could try to find out what occurred and try to understand if it can be resolved. The clients are committed to resolving whatever issues are going forward. They aren't a noise concern. They're not going to be bringing all kinds of troublesome folks into the neighborhood. They just want to operate a nice business at this location. And I can pass forward those PG&E emails if you'd like.
Very thorough response, Council. I guess the only thing is even though your clients have admitted to renting the establishment out because of you know, income needing to be there to support the monthly rental, so forth and so on. It's very alarming that, you know, you have sheriff's department comes in your establishment, you don't ID.
Absolutely.
You don't ID at the door, you don't ID at the bar, you're serving drinks underneath the table. It's kind of alarming because that could have been underage.
Commissioner, I'd love to disagree with you.
I'm not-
I don't have a disagreement. I agree.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying, as far as eyes are going to be on this this establishment if the chairman grants this licensing. And I understand that your clients are aware of and took responsibility, which I applaud. But it's a big thing for this board to consider, knowing that the evidence on both sides is weighing. You have the councilwoman here. You have, you know, the sheriff who provided his statements. It just, I wish that the two could work together, the community and you guys could work together, because it puts us in a position of being under a microscope with this licensee. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, and I guess it was decided to move forward today without trying to work this out. I wanted to move forward today, correct?
Ultimately, the issue was we haven't heard anything from them. And as of today, I still don't have a letter of opposition from the citizens of Pigtown. I don't have anything indicating they've pulled their MOU or their letter of support previously. Nothing in writing has been indicated that they didn't support it, other than the fact that I was contacted and told that something had changed, and that's where we are.
Okay.
There's no one from Citizens of Pigtown here today in opposition. And if I just very briefly, Rule 1.044 of the Liquor Board's own rules allow the board to put some restrictions on the license if the licensee agrees. And we would be in agreement to have restrictions on this place. And again, the board now, if the establishment is licensed, the Liquor Board would have more oversight of the establishment in an effort to, if there's any violation, if there's a protested renewal, there's any number of circumstances under which, if they operate improperly going forward, and I want to be careful as well, because I think there's been concerns in the past that once a place gets licensed, it doesn't have the ability to have it taken away, or that it puts the responsibility on the Liquor Board to kind of police these things. I'm not trying to make that accusation, but I do believe that if they operate improperly, if they have crazy loud music, if they have huge parties, if people are going in and out drunk, if there's underage service, they'll be back before the board. And I anticipate that the board will remember this hearing, and they will be punished pretty severely if their license wouldn't be revoked or suspended immediately in those circumstances.
Exactly. You know that would occur. I just have one other question. Did you talk to your client about when the BG was cut off?
Absolutely.
Did you ask them the date?
Oh, my apologies. Mr. Watson, the letter indicates that the letter is from October 1st. It doesn't say that the service was turned off October 1st. Do you recall when the service was in fact turned off?
It was roughly September timeframe. I reached out to BG&E to get them to send me an official letter. When they deactivated the account, we can't even log in to pull any correspondence. And when I reached out to have it for this hearing, they said the only way we could get it is through the mail. They wouldn't send another email because that account no longer existed.
When did the electric ever cut off for the establishment?
I can't give you an exact date. I just know it's like
First,
September.
did it cut off at all?
Yes.
It did?
Yes.
And did it cut off in 2025 or 2026?
No, 2025.
There's no electric at all, no heat, no air, no anything?
No. And if I was thinking, I would have had our landlord send us a letter. She contacted us, the actual owner of the building, numerous times because there was grave concerns once it got really cold about pipes busting.
Did any pipes bust?
Yes, we did have the kitchen flooded. The pipes busted, and we had to pay somebody to come in and do that repair for us.
And when was it turned on?
Around the end of February, sometime when I sent the request in.
And when did you send the request in? Is that this?
That's one of those emails.
Yeah, the email indicates
is
the 23rd is when it will be reinstated, I believe.
Okay. Commissioner Thomas, do you have any questions? I know we still have the councilwoman here. I don't know if she has to leave. Do you have any questions for her?
For the councilwoman?
Yes.
No, I mean, I think she certainly provided her account of the communications that have transpired. Yeah.
I do have a question. Are there any circumstances that you believe the community or you in your office believe that would be, I guess, palatable to the community if this establishment was given a license, even with any restrictions necessary?
I am not sure. Again, the immense opposition that has come to the office, I don't know. I think that, and I'll just be quite frank, I think that the community did not want to come today because they felt threatened. And so they are sending me as their representative to be here. But I don't know. I don't know. And I mean, just the whole account of what has happened, I don't know. So I'm saying that very truthfully. I do have one question.
Yes.
So you mentioned that BG&E was turned off in August of last year?
I think it indicates
In
sometime
August?
September. The
In
letter
September.
from October indicates that there's two emails. One is as of October 1st that the service is off. I'm not sure the
Someone
date.
could pass this up if you want.
So did you mentioned that you didn't have any service within the operation in the month of August through now?
The BG&E was off
So you didn't have any electricity?
from October through February 23rd is our understanding.
October through
Correct.
February 23rd. So were you cooking or were you open at this time? You were not open at this time?
It is my understanding, and I'm certainly happy, that they ceased all operations basically at the end of August.
Okay.
Ultimately, at my advice. Was the
What'd you say?
Like, it's sometime, because those events are from August. We met in September, October. I
And
don't
that's
have
when
the-
absolutely everything was.
Yeah, but you just testified that the electricity was off October.
Correct.
Okay.
They stopped operations before the electricity went off.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just wanted that on record. Thank you.
Yeah. They didn't have operations with no power in any capacity, but the power was turned off as a result of their lack of operation.
Any questions, commissioners?
No questions.
Any more questions?
Well, I'm confused, to be honest. If there was no electricity, how could the sheriff, observe an event on February the 14th?
My apologies. I don't
I'm
believe the testimony was that there was an event on the 14th.
No,
believe there was a
I wrote down,
complaint.
okay, so,
Yeah, there was. So there was a,
complaint
an email that was sent to me from a neighboring
Okay.
resident that
Stand
there was a
corrected.
loud party at Epic Nights, yeah.
But there's,
okay, so
BG&E
I stand corrected, but if a citizen's report was given to 311
Sure.
about a loud music or party or something transpiring at,
the community letters also
If it's
indicate
on the
that they're routinely
14th,
open,
and
which
it's-
is a concern, because
well, I haven't read anything that says it's been routinely open. They have made complaints about loud music. They haven't said it's been routinely open.
well, there's
None of the
there's a
things
letter
I've
in the
read.
file from one of the members of the community indicating that they're routinely open, and they haven't been open since, again, their power was cut off. The letter indicates, the October 1st email from BG&E indicates their service was terminated, and it wasn't put back on until February 23rd. That's the letter from BG&E, which is emailed on the 20th, indicating their service will be turned back on the 23rd. My clients have testified that they had significant water damage to the place because of the lack of heat in the location due to the lack of BG&E. My clients have indicated that they haven't been in operation. And again, they could operate as a restaurant without alcohol service, but they chose not to, at my advice, because then you can't have complaints, and any complaints that do come in can't be for their location. The brewery next door has roll-up doors, and they have loud music. I'm not trying to blame the brewery, but Mr. Johnson testified that the Bluetooth speaker, the only amplified source of music in the location, doesn't get beyond the door, even at full volume.
So your clients will be okay with tight restrictions by the board if we granted this licensee, just to work through.
Absolutely, and my only hesitation with tight restrictions, I don't know what that means.
Meaning, just do what you say you're going to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what I mean by that. I'm
No,
sorry.
absolutely, and I would. My apologies, Commissioner. I would expect all of my clients to abide by tight restrictions. I'm not sure that they do, but the rules are the rules. And I've been before you on violations, and clients have been hit with some pretty stern fines. I'm not sure I think I've seen a couple of suspensions, but not too many. But we understand that the board can both fine them, suspend them, and revoke the license, and that they would be subject next year, if they don't operate well, but they don't somehow get a violation, they'd still be subjected to a potential protested renewal, which is an entirely different process, where they have to prove that they're qualified people to hold a license and continue to hold a license. I anticipate that while I would love to tell you that there won't be any violations between now and a year from today, I can't. People make mistakes. Do I think there's a possibility that there will be a problem? Sure. Do I think that they will do absolutely their best to diligently pursue resolving it? Absolutely. They've met with Matt, so they have a unfortunately good relationship, probably better than most people would like to have with Matt in terms of the community liaison. And they'd be happy to continue to go to the community meetings. I encourage all clients to attend these community meetings on a regular basis because you can hear what people are saying in terms of what they believe are problems, so you can get ahead of them before they become really concrete issues. And I think the issue here is that, again, there were a couple of these days where certainly things weren't the way they were supposed to be. They've addressed that, and they've had no further events since that time.
And the other last thing, Brother Chairman, this cloud of some investigation going on, people feeling threatened, that's a concern as well. I understand that nobody wants to really talk about it,
Sure.
But you can only read between the words of what was being said. So that's a thing that's in my mind as a public safety thing that I don't even understand. Why it's not being mentioned or what's
I
going
agree.
on.
I'm concerned by this idea of this fact that they were concerned about testifying here. I think that there's a concern that people have sometimes when they have to testify under oath because all of a sudden what they heard or what they believe becomes a little less valid as opposed to just writing a letter and walking away from it.
And then my second part of the question is we have Mr. Lemon, who has a security company, who I feel is understanding safety. So I'm really confused why it's a concern of people being threatened or investigation because he seems to be a law-abiding citizen. So for me, I'm confused.
Your confusion you're not the only person. I think that Commissioner Thomas indicated some confusion. I myself have been confused. What I can say is that Mr. Johnson has spoken to them at length, and Mr. Johnson works with licensees of all varieties in different counties. And my understanding is he's going to continue to work with them to make sure that any hiccups get addressed, anything that they plan to do, they're going to run it by Mr. Johnson just to get a heads up on what his thoughts are because he's got the experience to try to get ahead of these things. I've talked to them on numerous occasions about how if they have any questions whatsoever, they're always welcome to call me and I can try to advise them the best way going forward. Again, my advice was to cease all operations because if they operate as a restaurant, there could be continuing concerns as to their operations, even if they weren't necessarily validated. So they've stopped these operations.
Why do you think that? Because I'm as a restaurateur who operated a restaurant for 8 years, who did not have a liquor license, my business thrived. So as a business person, if your clients have been dealing with not being open, why haven't they even tried to operate without having a liquor license?
Their concern has been that some of the complaints that they've heard from individuals, threatening behavior, things of that nature, They indicated to me that they sent an email to someone asking if they could talk about the issues, and they said, "Oh, that you guys are being aggressive." I think for them, a situation is they're kind of damned if they do and they damned if they don't. And I think their point of view has been that if people are going to say that they've been open and they've been operating, and that was obviously a concern of ours, it would be easiest just to not operate for a while. Because then if people said they were operating, it was very easy to say that they weren't. Again, the BG&E's been off.
Okay. I think we've heard enough in this case. I'm just disappointed though that the parties that the licensee hasn't been able to connect with the community, and I'm also disappointed that some of these issues weren't ironed out before you guys came before the board today. That's one of the hallmarks of our agency, and you know this, that we, most of the time, 90-something% of the time, 99% of the time, we get to the bottom of most of these issues before we're sitting here today. And there's the confusion that we have now, I believe, is indicative of the disconnect that your client has with the elected officials, with the community associations, and that confusion also is indicative of the lack of leadership that they have, I believe, when it comes to running this business, and their inability to manage this business appropriately. Now, do we see this a lot in licensees learn over time, especially new business owners? Yes, but part of that deals with being able to, one, control what happens in your establishment, and you've admitted that and before I continue, you're always a zealous advocate for your client. You always do a great job, and you did a great job in this. Your arguments were very clear. I understand exactly the point of view of you and your clients. I do understand that there was a shift that happened, a pivot that happened, and your clients thought that this was going to go one way when it comes to the community's perspective on their business, and it shifted at some point. But that's when I thought a regrouping needed to happen before it got to this point. But they clearly are not ready and don't know how to manage operations. The restaurant has not been opened. I understand your position of stopping operations for a while to make sure that there aren't any other violations or complaints in the neighborhood. But the other side of that is, if they were operating, as my fellow commissioner alluded to, as a restaurant, that would have given us a runway. It would have given us an example of how your clients could operate in this community without any violations, and could provide a service without the alcohol. And it would show us that in the future, this is a viable business that can operate within the confines of the rules and regulations in Baltimore City. There are letters of opposition, and a lot of them. And I did see the letters that are in support. But based on all of the evidence, including the testimony that was given today, your zealous argument, the testimony given by your clients, by your expert, I did appreciate you bringing in an expert, because I think it was necessary to have someone else come in here and give their opinion in this case. There are multiple factors that we have to consider, and in this case, one of the factors is we've heard that there were numerous accounts of disturbing the peace of residents in this area. We also heard that there were service of alcohol under the table. I just don't understand how that could happen when easily they could have gotten it one day, to do operations there. Like there are ways to do these things legally, and I'm sure since you've been involved, you've talked to your clients about that. I do all the time with my clients. There's always a way to do things legally. There's always a way to make sure that these things don't happen in the future. And our concern here is the health, safety, and welfare of the community. And at this point, I don't see how this establishment is keeping this community safe by allowing these things to happen. So at this time, the application for this new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license, I vote not to approve this license at this time. This is not we need to listen to the other commissioners also. This is not, I see you upset. This is not a nail in the coffin, obviously. Within 6 months, an application can be applied again if the commissioners agree with me, but this is my decision after hearing all of the evidence. I do want to see you operate in that location. I do know that location. I've seen that location in the past. I've been there in the past, not since you guys had it. But I want to see you guys as a great operator. But at this time, I think that there needs to be a pause. There needs to be a reset. And if you'd like to try again after we hear obviously the votes of my fellow commissioners, if they agree with me, you do have another chance. Okay.
I concur with the chairman. I denied this transfer of license, not necessary to accommodate the public's interest at this time.
I'm also voting to not approve your application for a Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license on the grounds that I think it would disturb the peace of the residents of the neighborhood of the location. And I have serious concerns about the ongoing investigation that the sheriff has alluded to, and the unfortunate incident of serving liquor when they should not have been doing so.
We do understand. I'm sorry. Do you have anything else you want to say?
That's it.
This is a hard decision to make. I do understand that you guys are business owners, that your clients are business owners, that they have not been operating for a little while. So the financial impact that it does occur in them, so it's a hard decision for us to make today, but that is our decision. And like I said, I appreciate your arguments. I really do. Thank you. Ms. Russell.
No exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, 12 letters of opposition. 2, 5 event flyers. 3, petition of opposition. 4, map. 5, 2 letters of opposition from Councilwoman Porter dated 2/12/25 and 11/4/25. Licensees Exhibit Number 1, 2 letters of support from the community. 2, petition of support. 3, proposed operational details statement. 4, menu. 5, report and assessment. 6, MOU. 7, draft letter of support from Citizens of Pigtown Community Association. And 8, BG records.
There being no further business before this board, the board is in recess until Thursday, April 9th, 2026 at 10:30 a.m. We're adjourned.